Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the February 16th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Melanie Fernandez. How soon should officials alert students on campus when there's a potential threat?
We'll take a look at how the two remaining SBP candidates spent the past week.
In sports, it was close, but the men's basketball team was able to weather the Hurricanes.
Weathercaster Katie Costa will let us know how much more spring-like weather we can expect.
All that in a Cinderella story that doesn't end at midnight.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
A bomb threat that led police to clear Central Campus is raising a lot of concerns. I'm Bethany Tuggle.
And I'm Chris Neal. One major question is what the role of the Alert Carolina system should be in a situation like this. A quiet night of studying in the library ended abruptly when the Department of Public Safety called for an evacuation of the pit area and the main libraries. Melanie Fernandez was in the pit and joins us now live with the latest.
Chris, still no word yet on who called in the threat, but like most bomb threats, it was a hoax. The incident still is raising bigger questions regarding campus security, specifically how and when students will find out about such threats. Students in Davis Library found out about 8:45 p.m. when the evacuations began. Jenny Smith was walking to the library when suddenly police made her turn around.
I was a little bit nervous. It was kind of, you wouldn't expect that to happen, especially on a Sunday night in the pit.
DPS responded to a bomb threat, bringing in a bomb squad, bomb-sniffing canines, and plenty of firearms. UNC student Anna Marshall says that's what got her attention.
We couldn't tell what was going on until we walked outside and saw DPS holding this really large weapon.
DPS Information Specialist Randy Young explains the call that came into Orange County 911.
It indicated a threat to the pit area of campus involving an explosive device.
By now, it was close to midnight, and Young explained the law enforcement and operation.
They're trying to ascertain whether the threat exists and as I said, the level of threat if it does exist.
It was also about this time, 11:47 p.m., that this text came across the alert system. UNC student Kevin Wilson is concerned that roughly 3 hours passed before the alert came out.
We have a first legitimate huge thing in Central Campus that you might consider you figured you hear something, no email, nothing.
DPS spokesman Randy Young did say that the reason why the alert took so long to be aired or be text is because they're trying to get all the facts together, but officials did finally decide to release the alert because so many people were calling into local law enforcement as well as media outlets to find out what was going on.
Okay, now Melanie, currently a bomb threat isn't on the list of reasons for the system to be activated. Shouldn't it be, though?
Students certainly think so, Chris. Several told me if the threat is real enough for the campus buildings to be evacuated, then it is credible enough for the alert to go out to students on campus.
Okay, that's Melanie Fernandez reporting live from the pit. Thank you so much, Melanie.
After police gave the all clear, it was time for the two remaining student body president candidates to get back to campaigning. The runoff election is tomorrow. We start with reporter Preston Neal and candidate Jasmine Jones.
Walk into the pit, and instead of seeing an election campaign, you might see an impromptu dance party. That's because Jasmine Jones has been looking for ways to keep her campaign energized and motivated. Jasmine's sister Jaren says being seen is the best way to make students aware of the runoff.
Let me see it, Sorry. Once we found out we were in the runoff, we were just like, okay, everyone can have a great night, but tomorrow we have to be back out there and we got to get people to know.
The dancing in the pit wasn't just a way to campaign. Jasmine was also celebrating her 21st birthday.
It's like I wanted to have a party in the pit, so all the people who volunteered, we emailed them and said, come to the pit and just dance around with us.
Jasmine's concern is that voters will not come out a second time, and she needs to make them aware that she still needs their support.
People can see voting day is coming tomorrow, because I think a lot of students will re-vote, but they have to know when, and so we're going to have to really stress that. So it's just to really get people out here and get them stationed where we need them.
And with any luck, Jasmine and her team might just dance their way into the student body presidency. And now we'll go to Chris Batters, who met with Thomas Edwards.
After campaigning for the first round of SBP elections, Thomas Edwards and his campaign staff are at it again, but with a new twist.
We're going away in 5 days. I can't wait. I'm not either.
Whether joking or not, the campaign season has been long for staffers and students alike. With another round of elections coming, Edwards had only a few days rest, but it was enough time to do what he hadn't been able to do.
Tuesday and Wednesday we sort of took off, or Tuesday night we celebrated some with our campaign staff. Actually, Jasmine and I and Maggie and Sebastian all got together and hung out and just kind of reminisced about the campaign. And
With the runoff elections on Tuesday, Edwards and his opponent, Jasmine Jones, have through Tuesday to campaign, only the rules have changed.
The Department of Housing and Residential Education won't let us dorm storm anymore, so we're really focusing all of our efforts on this kind of stuff. Being in the pit.
Getting the message to as many students as possible helps, and so might an endorsement from newly elected senior class president Maggie Shapiro. Either way, with 41% of the overall vote in the main election, Thomas is sticking to his previous campaign philosophy.
Our kind of philosophy is that we just need people out there, like people, I mean, that's sort of the best advertisement that you can get.
With freshly painted signs and a cheerful chorus shouting his name, Edwards is doing just that. In Chapel Hill, I'm Chris Batters, Carolina Week.
Will Jones be able to overcome the 20-point lead Edwards had last week? Perhaps her endorsements from the other 4 candidates will help. We'll have the results on a special edition of Carolina Week tomorrow night. Our coverage starts at 10.
The election is over for 4 of the student body president candidates, but one of them is still fighting. Last week, the Board of Elections disqualified Ron Bilbao from the SBP race. The disqualification won't affect the election results, but because of being disqualified, Bilbao wouldn't be reimbursed for the costs he incurred during the campaign. Bilbao plans to appeal the ruling on the grounds that the Board of Elections did not follow protocol.
You can also vote whether to increase a student fee that subsidizes childcare, after more than 3,400 people signed a petition to put the fee back in front of students. Student Congress originally took the $10 increase from $2.44 to $12.81 off the ballot. At the moment, UNC provides childcare for about 20 children. The waiting list for childcare is much larger at least 60 families. Woody Hartzog didn't even try to sign up for the waiting list and supports the increase.
I think that it would help people like me and people that, mainly grad students that are living on next to nothing and trying to support a family at the same time.
Whether you're in favor of the increase or against it, you'll have the opportunity to cast your vote tomorrow on Student Central. We're used to all kinds of crazy costumes in downtown Chapel Hill.
That's right, and coming up, we'll tell you why these men right here were wearing dresses on Franklin Street.
Global warming. Some say irreversible consequences are 30 years away. 30 years? That won't affect me.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
Daddy, why is the sky blue?
Well, to match your pretty eyes.
Nope, not even close. See, all colors have wavelengths that are diffused by oxygen and nitrogen. Since blue is the shortest wavelength, it's diffused up to 10 times more.
Who taught you that?
Mommy?
By age 12, too many girls lose interest in math and science and their chance at future jobs. Keep her interest alive.
Know why mathematics is the basis of life as we know it?
You tell me.
It's her future. Do the math.
A UNC professor is happy to be alive after surviving a plane crash. He's heartbroken about another crash that took dozens of lives. Nadine Mazer has his story.
The crash of Continental Flight 3407 claimed 50 lives in Buffalo, New York, a devastating ending compared to U.S. Airways Flight 1549's miracle on the Hudson. Flight 1549 survivor David Sontag considers himself one of the lucky ones.
When a plane crashes, you either come out with the kind of wonderful outcome we had, or tragically you come out with the outcome that happened in Buffalo.
Sontag remains grateful for Captain Sully Sullenberger, crew, and passengers. Sontag has requested his luggage be recovered and returned to him. In it is a pair of gold cufflinks. They're the ones he wore when he gave his brother's eulogy. They once belonged to his brother.
And my sister-in-law said to me, or came over to me and handed me a pair of gold cufflinks, saying, "This is the first present I gave to your brother for our wedding anniversary, and I want you to have them."
Sontag was in New York for his brother's funeral and wasn't even supposed to be on Flight 1549. A canceled direct flight to Raleigh landed him on the plane to Charlotte and landed him miraculously on the river. Sontag feels his late brother was watching over him.
Reasons that I think if he was protecting me, we had a great relationship, was that he's now up there playing golf with my dad, and he's hitting the ball farther and straighter than he's ever hit it. And the last thing he wants is his kid brother to come up and hit it past him.
Sontag was in row 23 when the plane hit the Hudson. He salutes the rescuers for saving him and others and says we should honor those who died in a more tragic accident in Buffalo. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nadine Mazer, Carolina Week.
Sontag says Captain Sully's expertise and professionalism during the ordeal will be something Sontag will take with him for the rest of his life. The General Assembly could make it illegal to use a popular mode of communication while driving in North Carolina. Supporters of a bill introduced in the House want to put a stop to text messaging while behind the wheel. Those caught texting could pay fines of up to $100 plus court costs. It's already illegal for drivers younger than 18 to talk on cell phones, and lawmakers say that texting is even more dangerous. Chapel Hill's Representatives Verla Ensko says it should be banned.
It's as dangerous as it is driving drunk. And we're very strict here in the state on drunk drivers.
7 states and the District of Columbia already have text messaging bans for all drivers.
Despite the tough economy, some people are still willing to splurge, especially on Valentine's Day. At 411 West, business was almost the same as last year. Manager Drew Hansel said he has fewer customers exchange chocolates and gifts and flowers than in previous years. To-go orders were popular because patrons could save $10 to $15 by not having to tip. Chapel Hill has an unemployment rate of 4.5 compared to the national average of 5.8%, and that helped keep the tables full on Valentine's Day. While most people were buying flowers and balloons on Valentine's Day, one group of people decided to celebrate the day running and drinking, or as they call it, hashing. No buying boxes of stuffed chocolates or stuffed animals for Sir Walter Hash's House of Harriers. They decided to run wearing red dresses in honor of Valentine's Day. The Hash House Harriers, is a social organization with 1,800 groups worldwide.
I like to run. I like to drink. So what better than combining that together in one?
The Sir Walter's group runs every weekend throughout the Triangle area, but not always in red dresses. An increase in meter rates for on-street parking in Chapel Hill might be on the way. On Wednesday, Downtown Chapel Hill Partnership Board of Directors approved a list of parking recommendations to the Town Council. The result is a 50% increase for on-street rates. A quarter will now only get you 10 minutes of time. The rate bump is projected to increase the parking meter revenue from $250,000 in 2008 to $375,000 in the coming year. And now we're joined by weathercaster Katie Costa.
Yeah, Katie, this past week it was so warm and I loved it. I loved the warm weather, but I got up this morning and it's getting colder. Is that going to be here all week?
Well, it certainly is colder, and you know what? It is going to be sticking around for a while. Students have already begun pulling out those hats and scarves, and I'll let you know exactly how much longer you will need that winter gear. Your forecast is next.
Do
Do you know where your change goes when you give it to panhandlers? The Spare Change from Real Change initiative takes the money you give away and uses it to make a real change for the homeless population.
This will be 15 seconds, 30 seconds?
So the next time you want to get rid of that extra weight in your
you.
pocket, find a can in any local establishment and help end homelessness in Chapel Hill.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Katie Costa. Well, we only saw a peak of sunshine today, but tomorrow, fortunately, we will be seeing sunny skies all day long, but it won't last forever because we do have a rainy Wednesday in store for us. But overall, we will be seeing temperatures in the 50s for the remainder of the week. So overall, a pleasant week temperature-wise. Now, if we take a look at the U.S. satellite and radar, we see that there's a lot of activity going on around the nation. First of all, in California, there's a lot of winter weather occurring in the form of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, and that is because of a strong cold front that is in place over the state. And if we look at the Great Lakes region, we see that there's also snowfall occurring over there as well, and even over West Virginia and Virginia to our north. And if we zoom in closer to the North Carolina satellite and radar, we see that there are a few lingering snow flurries over the area just north of Durham, but most of the snow is concentrated in Virginia and has pushed off into the east. Now, if we zoom out to the current surface map, we see the upper level disturbance that passed through today is now off into the Atlantic, and we are going to soon be dealing with high pressure. This high pressure is going to bring in cold, dry air for tomorrow, which is going to bring us sunny, pleasant weather. And if we move into Tuesday's surface map, we see a better look of what's going on. This high pressure will be just over us, and that was what is going to be keeping us pleasant. Now, our second weather maker that is going to be causing rain for Wednesday is this low pressure right here. As we look into Wednesday's surface map, we see that this system is going to bring an abundant amount of moisture and rain. So be sure to have an umbrella out Wednesday because you are definitely going to need it. Now, whether you're planning on being around State, Duke, or Chapel Hill tonight, it is going to be very chilly. Only 25 here in Chapel Hill and at Duke. A degree warmer at State, but still chilly. Mostly clear for tonight, though, so despite the colder temperatures, it will be pleasant. And for tomorrow, a different story. It's going to be beautiful and pleasant, 50 degrees at State and Chapel Hill and sunny skies, 49 at Duke. And if we take a look at our 4-day forecast, we see that we are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and you might as well enjoy the outdoors while you can because Wednesday, the rain is going to move in. The sun will return Thursday and Friday, however, and temperatures will be in the 50s for the high, a little drop down to the 40s on Friday, and lows will be in the 30s and 40s, and then drop down to 29 for the low on Thursday night. So guys, it looks like tomorrow you should really get out and enjoy the outdoors since rain will be moving in on Wednesday.
Well, the temperatures are still a little bit cold. It might not be raining, but I don't know if I can go outside. I just really don't like the cold weather.
I understand. Just get out the scarves and hat and you'll be fine.
Oh, okay. That's good advice. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, when it warms up again, you're likely to see more of this. This sport is actually called slacklining. And it's harder than it looks. Two freshmen from Boone, Adam Rich and Ben Vollmer, say it's actually become a problem with students at Appalachian State doing it anywhere they can find a spot. Slacklining requires a little setting up, just 2 sturdy trees, some nylon, and a good sense of balance. The ultimate goal is to cross over and back without falling off, and fans say it's a good way to clear your head and get outside.
And now we're joined by sportscaster Kate Howard.
Kate, slacklining looks like a lot of fun. Have you ever tried it?
I personally have not tried it, but I recently saw a documentary about a guy who slacklined across Niagara Falls. I think that's taking the sport to a bit of an extreme, though. Coming up in sports, the softball team played 4 games this weekend to find out how those games made them one of the nation's biggest threats.
A soprano with a cardiologist, someone who'll sing their heart out. Just what they're doing at a local community theater. See, the Sopranos Choir and the Cardiologist Hospital contacted their community coalition and started a children's theater. They knew busy kids are less likely to try drugs. And that's music to everyone's ears. What can your group do? Contact your community coalition at helpyourcommunity.org. Because you get more
when you get together.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for...
Yes,
I am. Yeah. Miss Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
Dinero. No.
Yes,
Ed McMahon, see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just
5, 6, 7, 8.
No Tango Dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right.
Larry, put some pants on.
I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
The Tar Heel men's basketball team traveled to Miami to take on the Hurricanes on Sunday. The Tar Heel standout Tyler Hansbrough had a tough night, finishing the game with only 8 points. But the tandem of Ty Lawson and Wayne Ellington carried the Heels, combining 36 of the team's 69 points on the night. Lawson, who battled an illness in the first half, got well at halftime and scored 17 of his 21 points in the second half, making 5 of 7 from behind the arc. Strong play off the bench from freshman Ed Davis and a big 3 by Lawson sealed the game. The Tar Heels won 69-65. The UNC women's basketball team returned home Sunday looking to avenge an earlier loss to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. The Heels struggled early, committing 19 first-half turnovers, but in the second, Satara DeGraff and Reed stole the show, blowing past Yellow Jacket defenders en route to a career-high 22-point performance to go along with 8 assists, including this one to Rashonda McCants, putting the Heels up 44-34. Christina DeWitt added 10 points, a career-high 11 rebounds off the bench for her first career double-double, and the Heels go on to win 73-50. The 5th-ranked men's lacrosse team took on number 14 Denver Saturday at Fetzer Field. After Carolina jumped out to an early 6-0 lead, Denver pulled within 1 at 6-5 midway through the second period. But that's as close as they would get, led by redshirt junior Gavin Petraka, who had 4 goals and a career-high 8 points, and sophomore Billy Bitter, who scored 3 goals and also had a personal best 7-point performance. The Heels would go on to dismantle Denver 20-7 and record their highest scoring output since 2001. The Carolina football team is touting a recruiting class of 28 players. Here's a look at one local incoming player who calls UNC his backyard.
Jared McAdoo, defensive tackle, Chapel Hill High School.
Got my good side. You got me. The best thing about playing football is just being able to run around and hit people. The whole time, you get out any anger you got, it's just fun just to be able to go out there and just let loose. Pretty strong. If I had one chance to switch my position on the field, I'd switch it to wide receiver. That right there and just reach for it. Wow. If I could be anybody in the world, I'd probably be Donald Trump. If I could be a superhero, I'd be the Flash. You know, never have to worry about gas money or cars. You could just get there in the blink of an eye. It's just, if I could be a villain, I would probably have to say, I'd probably be Magneto from X-Men. As a college student, the first thing I really want to do is I really want to see what this town has all to offer. Because I want to see no.
If you're wondering what Jared thinks of Duke, let's just say he can't wait for November 7th.
The Lady Tar Heels softball team took on George Washington on Friday in the midst of a 4-game weekend. Behind strong pitching from 17-year-old freshman Constance Orr, who threw a no-hitter on the day, the Lady Heels cruised to a 5-inning victory. A 3-run homer by Brianna Brown in the top of the 2nd inning put the Tar Heels up 5-0 early over the Colonials. After walking at her first 2 at-bats, freshman Kelly Wheeler finally got a pitch to hit, knocking this ball over the fence in right center field to score 3 more runs, icing the 8-0 win. After upsetting California on Saturday, the Lady Tar Heels hosted Penn State on Sunday. We moved to the 2nd inning, and sophomore Brittany McKinney gets a hold of this one and sends it over the left wall to make the score 1-0 Carolina. Later in the game, pitcher Danielle Spalding does it with the at-bat, too, and drives this one just deep enough to score Christine Knauer on a sacrifice fly to make a 2-run lead for the Heels. And that's all Spalding would need as she struck out 14 Penn State batters on her way to a shutout. Heels win 2-0. The wrestling team took center stage at the Dean Dome on Saturday as the Heels hosted perennial powerhouse Nebraska. It was senior night, and it would be a tough one as the Heels squared off against the 4th-ranked Cornhuskers. After falling behind 9-0, senior Vincent Ramirez picked up the slack, scoring on this takedown and near fall, eventually leading to a decision win. Sophomore Nick Stabile would follow up by using his half Nelson to wrench this opponent into a pin, tying the match at 9. The Heels then struggled to score points and fell behind late until senior Justin Dobies rode out a decision win, but it was too late as the Heels fell 25-15. The track and field team hosted the Dick Taylor Invitational Saturday, and UNC's Venetia Ivy finished 1st in the 60-meter hurdles and 2nd in the 60-meter dash. The Tar Heel duo of Danielle Brock and Sierra McGee came in 2nd and 3rd on the long jump. On the men's side, Dante Null cleared the 6'9" and 3/4 mark to claim the high jump victory, while Edward Baldwin tied for 1st place in the long jump. And Carolina will head to Virginia Tech next week to tune up for the ACC championships. It was a pretty good weekend for sports. We had a lot of star athletes, Ty Lawson, Satara DeGraff, and Reed.
And some as well on the track and field.
That's right.
Thank you, Kate.
Thanks so much, Kate. Now you know it's not just the athletes who get to shine. Chris, every girl wants to be able to dress up like a princess, right?
That's what I hear. Coming up, we'll show you why some girls' dream might become a Cinderella story.
Hey, there are a lot of ways we can help our community. Spending our money in Orange County, whether it's filling up the car or shopping at local businesses, helps maintain our roads, improves our children's schools, and creates jobs.
Spending your money locally helps us all in a big way. So remember, shop Orange first.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
A group of volunteers is making sure every girl gets the chance to feel like a princess at prom. Kayla's Closet in Northgate Mall is giving away free, yes, we said free, prom dresses every Saturday until March 7th. Girls browse the racks for the perfect dresses for their special occasions. Local dress shops and people in the surrounding communities donated the dresses to help those who are trying to make ends meet in these tough economic times. Moms were especially thankful for the great deal.
Awesome. Having the outfit, 2 girls, is definitely a huge expense, and for them to just be proud of what we found today is just amazing.
I have a lot of prom dresses, maybe, I guess not a lot, 3 or 4 that I could donate, but you don't have any dresses like those guys wearing the red dresses early in the show, do you, Chris?
Well, Bethany, I'll have to check my closet, but I really don't think I have any. But I think that's still wonderful that a lot of girls who might be in tough economic times can get to go to prom and still have a great experience.
Yeah, definitely. It's wonderful. All right, well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.